Hey, it's Aaron, Metal Theologian. Alright, so we're gonna do something today we did in a long time. That's like a 5 random records, but out of my New Wave British Heavy Metal 45s. So, no dice today, because I only have 2 boxes. It's really more like 1.5 boxes, but I'm gonna flip a coin. And, shit, we'll have to decide which... I think A through S is gonna be, heads, and tails will be the rest of them, so... Yeah, but a little bit about... This is a great song. Yeah, a little bit of housekeeping though. In the Metallurgy chat tonight, one of the guys who doesn't have his own channel, but James G. Philosopher is his alias, and he was somebody who's been listening to German punk and specifically Slime. And as it turns out, I love Slime, so I'm gonna show my fucking Slime records real quick before we start. This is one that's playing right now, Yankees House, and there's the back. We will always win. That's what that means. I'm actually gonna bump it ahead to my favorite song on this record because it's called Legal Scheißegal, which is kind of hard to translate. It means legal, illegal. It doesn't matter. I don't give a shit basically, but it sounds funnier in German. So anyway, I have that one. This is actually an early eBay purchase for me. This is my copy of the first Slime record because the last time it was in Germany, it was like 1990. I was like, oh, I've got to go to Slime records I need while I'm here. Which is funny because there were a lot fewer then. But I got a copy of this one and then I went and listened to it at a friend's house. And like, there are a couple songs on this that got censored. This is the song, by the way. Because they're a lot quicker to censor shit in Germany than they are in the US, you know, for better or for worse. But like, you know... You walk over with a swastika shirt in Germany, you're gonna get arrested, like no shit. And these guys weren't like that. These guys were left wing, right? But they had a song called Deutschland and another one called Bullenschweine, which were both kind of deemed. Well, the expression they use actually is endangering for the youth. And so the chorus of the songs were actually bleeped out on this other record. So I was like, fuck. You know, it's like it's sort of like a knee in the groin. Like it's kind of funny. But it still sucked. So yeah, when eBay first came rolling around, I was like, oh shit, I bet I can find a copy of that Slime record that's uncensored. So here we are, man. That's what this is. So, here's the back. The Yankees House is the second one. I have the third one here too. This is actually the first one I got. Alle gegen alle. This has some classics on it too, like Störtebeker. Nazis House, like Nazis Get Out, so there you go. There's one called Junge Junge, which is actually Oh Boy, which is kind of funny as covers go. It's over so fast, it's okay. Like, the cover doesn't bog the LP down. Actually, that was the first CD one I got. The first one I got was actually the live one right here. 1984. So there we go. Alright, so I'll probably put on a 45 once you get that far, but in the meantime, we'll listen to this, because I haven't played this shit in a while, and it's really fucking good. I don't have a lot of punk records anymore that are like straight punk like this. You know, most of the shit in my punk section is shit like The Residents, and Suicide, and Chrome, and shit that's kind of weird like that, you know what I mean? I still play like Dead Kennedys records, Misfits if they even count, because they were kind of weird in their own way too, with the whole horror shtick, you know? And the fact that the songs were so simple, you know? My Septic Death records are over there, shit like that, but not a whole lot, you know. But I still have my Slime records, so let me readjust this shit here, because I can't really get to these boxes. I can't get to these boxes because there's so many fucking records in the way. Let's see if I can sort of show this here. Yeah, so the records, and there's the fucking boxes right there. I'm trying to get them in this little space here, so... I don't know if that actually, like, demonstrated anything, but I'm sitting here struggling with this shit. Losing inner sleeves isn't the only problem I have when it comes to doing this shit, right? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move some of this shit over. I forgot I played this one last week. Man, this is a really good record. I've talked about Bob Seger before. I made a special video once where I showed all my Bob Seger records and dedicated it to Bananas over at Grown Man Record Night because he hates Bob Seger. But yeah, it didn't get a rise out of him the way I was hoping. He probably just missed the video. What can I say? I don't want to score my record night every week either, so I can't cast any aspersions here. Alright, so here we go. Let's see if I just do it this way. Ah, never mind. This isn't going to work. Just trust me, there are 2 boxes here, 45s. Alright, here's one of them. This is all new wave British heavy metal. And then this one is to about, that one with the yellow is Tigers of Pantang. So like maybe that many behind it. And then there's like my non-UK singles. And some other miscellaneous shit behind it. I feel like I revisit these kind of a lot, but it's fun, you know, and it took me a long time to build this collection too, you know, so. It's like a little stroll down memory lane. I could probably make one of these and just like talk about where each one came from. And a lot of them wouldn't be interesting, but some there'd be some really good stories. Like one of the first guys I started getting these kinds of records from was actually one of the guys who started High Roller Records. He hasn't been involved at the label for like probably 20 years or something like that. He's a Swiss dude though, back in Switzerland now as far as I know, but he was living in Canada at the time, and we talked a lot. But I'm getting a lot of records from him. He gave me some really good deals on some shit that I probably wouldn't have gotten otherwise, but like, forget any of those, I'll talk about those, but there are a few good stories there. Oh shit. You know what's funny is I'm like flipping the coin with my record player open, so it's probably dumb. Alright, heads. So box 1. So I'm gonna not look. Alright, here we go. What's this one? Oh, fuck, dude. Dawn Watcher. Alright, we're gonna fire this up. Because I fucking love Dawn Watcher. They've really become one of my favorite bands from the era. And it's funny because there was a time where I wouldn't have given them a chance at all because they're so keyboard heavy. But like the way they use it is just so awesome. I think the songs land. And I don't know, it doesn't hurt that they only made 2 singles, you know? So it's just sort of... like one single sort of whets your appetite. 2 singles makes you go, oh my god, these guys had more in them, you know? Holy shit, I wonder what else they might have done. But story's over, you know, I have no information. I could probably look around online and like learn a little bit, but it's kind of more fun this way, you know? So yeah, as far as I know, this one never had a picture sleeve. This is Spellbound backed with Hall of Mirrors. Oh, look at that. You see me drop the fucking rare record there? I've said it before. If you've never dropped a record, you're not a real collector. That sounds like a joke, and it kind of is a joke. But I kind of mean it. Because the fact is, if you've never dropped a fucking record, that means you're not handling your records enough. You know what I mean? If you're like sitting here listening to record after record after record, you're human. Every so often you're going to fumble one, you know? And it's probably going to be a rare one when it happens. And you might do it on video like this, so it's a little extra embarrassing. But seriously, man, if you're listening to records a lot, that shit's just going to happen. And it sucks, especially like when you put a big gouge in one, which I didn't do with that one. They kind of still haunt me, though. The first copy I had of Never Turn Your Back on a Friend by Budgie, yeah, I put a pretty big nick in that one by dropping it. And then there's an Italian prog band called E.A. Poe, like Edgar Allan Poe, but they just use the initials. And like, I had just gotten that. It was a reissue, admittedly, but I had just gotten it, and the first thing I fucking did was drop it and put a big gouge in it. I was like, fuck, man. It just sucked. I was so pissed, you know? I mean, that was like 15 years ago, but I still like remember, you know? The last one I dropped before this one was my Drano in Your Veins 45 by the Styrenes. Speaking of punk stuff, actually, I'd show it, but it's not here. It's in one of the other boxes. So yeah, if you've never dropped a record, man, you're not a real collector yet. And that doesn't mean you get to just go and like just fucking drop one, you know what I mean? It has to be like an accident. But the first time you do that, if you've never done it before, if anyone watching this is young enough, they're just starting to collect. If you've never done it before, when that day comes, you can go, you know something? I just crossed the fucking threshold. This is like a milestone. Because I'm sufficiently into records that occasionally I drop one. You know? Alright, so here we go. Fuck, I suck at this. Alright, I got heads again. Isn't this great, man? Like, it has this sort of, like, epic sort of grandiosity to it, you know, even though it's not super heavy, you know what I mean? But it still sort of has that bigness to it, you know, which is what really sort of, I don't know, the more time goes on, the more I feel like, you know, my favorite style of music, if I'm going to pick one, would probably be, like, epic metal, which is, when the first time I heard that, I thought it was kind of a joke. It was a Greek collector who said it to me. I was like, you just make that up? The more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know, I really like epic metal. But as time goes on, I almost feel like for it to really be metal, it has to at least be a little bit epic, you know? I mean, there's gonna be some big holes, like, it's kind of a stretch to call a band like Tank epic, you know what I mean? But I do kind of feel like that sort of larger-than-life aspect is enough a part of it, and that sort of goes along with the, just with what we expect from metal, you know what I mean? When you put on a metal record, that, there's almost something missing if you don't have that. Oh, and speaking of, records with a little something missing. All right, Hammerhead is what came out next. This is actually one that came from the High Roller dude. And I was surprised because he asked more for the Metal Mirror 45 than he did for this one. I thought this one was the more rare one at the time, but yeah, it's the Time Will Tell single. I'll just go ahead and fire this up, man. I just take about a half hour in these videos. It seems like kind of a nice time frame. You know, the whole point of these is sort of sit back and maybe hear something you haven't heard before, and if you've heard it all before, at least like go, oh my god, there's someone else out there who fucking likes Dawn Watcher as much as I do. That's awesome, you know, because that's a good feeling too, right? So yeah, there's kind of less sort of rigmarole when it comes to the 45s than if I'm over on the wall and like going through all these cubes and shit. So we'll go through it a little bit. Here's something that's kind of, in a way, this might be the coolest thing about this record. This record isn't bad. I'm making it sound shitty. I'm putting it on for a minute because it's not bad at all. It's two good songs. On the back it says Danger. Her Majesty's Government Health Department's warning. Very loud heavy metal music can damage your health. I don't know if they're really delivering on the promise of that, but that's really sort of an awesome looking, you know, cheap kind of shitty cover. Look at the way this sleeve is folded though. You know, usually they're like this, where you have the flaps on the sides like this. But this one, like the whole way it's folded is different. If you can see it, there's just one thing down the middle. Just sort of creased on the sides. I thought about doing a whole video on this topic because there are kind of a lot of 45s that seem to have inner sleeves that are folded in kind of weird ways. But I don't know how interesting a video that would be. I floated the idea with Scott Waters, and he was like, I actually would think that's really interesting, but I'm also interested in like art design and that kind of shit, so like packaging kind of plays into that. So he was like, yeah, I don't know if anyone else would give a shit though. So Scott, if you're watching, that one was for you. If I come across any other ones though, they'll be we'll show those too. I kind of like the long instrumental intro on this. A lot of times it kind of leaves me cold, but there's something about this that just sort of works, you know what I mean? It doesn't feel like they're taking too long. And it's not like a really sort of brazen, like, boring intro where it's like, okay, here's the intro and then the song. It all sort of, you know, moves, you know? But, you know what it kind of is about the song, though? That is the most basic chord progression. Like, if you take any music theory, it's 1-4-5-1. Like, it really doesn't get any simpler than that. That's even simpler than, like, a blues progression, you know? But that's kind of a cool, like, guitar lead there. Fuck. Drop the fucking coin. Alright, we got tails this time. This is a Minnesota quarter, by the way. Where's the fucking camera on this thing? There we go. Is that gonna focus for me? Not really. It doesn't matter. It's a quarter. If you're in the US, you've seen a shitload of these, I hope. Alright, so here we go. Just adjust this so I can flip a little bit better. Okay, here we go. We are pulling Oh, look at that. The Bright Lights 7-inch by Trespass. It's an EP, actually. It's the Bright Lights EP. It's called. Has 3 songs on it. On the Trial label, which as far as I can tell is their own private label, because I have exactly 3 Trial records, and they're all Trespass records, and I have exactly 0 Trial records by anyone else. So I think it was their own sort of private label, you know. These guys are pretty well known as the stuff goes. This is one of those ones where, this is kind of a weird one, actually. If you're gonna collect this shit, you might not have seen a lot of it, but like, there's 1 song on side 1, Bright Lights, and then 2 on side 2. And side 1 plays at 45 RPM, and side 2 plays at 33. Like, 7-inch records that played at 33 used to annoy the fuck out of me. I've kind of made my peace with them at this point. But I just used to sort of forget sometimes, you know. Usually I just like write it in the corner on the inner sleeve or something in pencil, you know. So whoever gets it after me can erase it if they want. But I'm like, fuck it. Alright, let's throw in a little bit of Trespass, because Bright Lights is a pretty good song. Trespass is another one of those bands that took me a while to get into. Like, at first I just thought they were kind of wimpy. Which is funny, because I did like Hammerhead before I liked Trespass. So I don't know how that really makes sense. I mean, I first heard them, like so many things, from the Lars comp, right? And they had that song One of These Days on there. And I thought that was kind of one of the wimpiest songs in that whole comp. I didn't think a whole lot of it. And then on that Japanese, ostensibly Japanese, like bootleg series, I know Alan's showing. I used to have them, but I don't have them anymore. They had Live It Up off the second 45. And I was like, God damn, this thing smokes, you know? It was like a completely different... Not a completely different band, but it was just like, I was like, oh shit, this band actually kind of rocks when they want to. So I've gone back and I like One of These Days and shit like that too. But I had to warm up to this band. It sort of took me a little while. That's a cool riff. It's funny how much more fully realized this sounds than the Hammerhead. The Hammerhead sounds so amateurish compared to this. And this is only their 3rd single. I mean, these guys, they never recorded a full album. I suppose they did enough songs between, like, the singles that they came close to an album. Like, 2 on the first, 2 on the second. I mean, it's 7 songs. It's been, you know, a short album, but it's getting into that territory, you know? Yeah, I think it's like 83 too, so this is sort of in the late end for this style of music. But I've really come around on these guys. You know, like I said, it took me a while, but the songs are really all good. I mean, I have all 3 of these singles, and I mean, here's the second one, Jealousy. There's one with Live It Up on it. And then my copy of the first one doesn't have a sleeve. This is a case band where the sleeve was so dumb, and it's like $50 difference in price. I'm like, you know something, fuck it. I'll take one without a sleeve, because I'm not gonna like... This is a really stupid cover design. Alright, so that's 3, right? I got 2 more here. Alright, there we go. Oh, it's Tails again. Holy shit. It's funny, the very first one in the second box is this guy, which I played not too long ago. This is one of my favorites, actually, the Scarab single. I love it. I don't remember where I got it. It was from some mail order in the UK. Like, I might not have even discovered eBay yet at that point, although I think it was around. Anyway. What do we have here? Oh, this is kind of cool, and this is Toad the Wet Sprocket. Now, to my knowledge, there have been at least 3 bands called that. There was a band that actually had some, like, minor hits, like the indie rock band in the early 90s. This is a different band, much earlier. Put out 2 singles on the Sprockets label. And I have this one. I feel like I heard the second one, too, and wasn't really crazy about it, but I'm not sure if that's actually right. I'd need to hear it again. It's been too long. But then there's also, on the original Metal from Mothers comp, there's a song by Toad the Wet Sprocket. It's called, like, Blues in A. How metal is that? Blues in A, right? It's really super lame. But I understand that it's a different band. Or so I've heard anyway. Yeah, Reaching for the Sky. And then the B side is One Glass of Whiskey. So they're sort of heading into jokey territory. But fortunately, that song doesn't suck. I don't know. One thing about these UK bands is a lot of times they're doing that sort of jokey thing. I mean, honestly, I think one thing that's kind of cool about the 45s, there isn't really room for a joke song on a 45, you know? Yeah, this is great. So he has that sort of grandiosity, you know? I don't know if it's like a true gallop, but that guy's doing some shit on the bass drum. You hear that? Singer sounds super young. It's awesome. This one has kind of cool packaging too. The inner that I keep it in is I just stuck it in there. The way this actually came is, so there's the back of the thing, and like you open it up and there's like an inner sleeve stapled in there. Here's the staple. So I keep it separate just to sort of, you know, it's easier on the covers if you don't mess with them every time you take the things out. When it comes to 12-inch records, I kind of enjoy the whole process of taking them out of the jacket and taking them out of the sleeves, so I don't put the records behind like this. With the 45s, you know, they really are a little touchier, so. Anyway, no bullshit ones. I was sure we were going to pull that fucking Mayday 45, because that one just sucks. I kind of made a whole video about that maybe a year or two ago. I knew that one was going to suck when I got it too, but I was like, well, I was getting something else from somewhere. It was like $2 or something. I was like, fuck it, man, throw it in there. And I was like, God, this is a turd. Oh, fuck, dropped it again. All right, it's Tails again. So here we go. We're going towards the last third or so of the alphabet, I suppose. I'll try and go a little further back. Yeah, this is kind of a cool one. Not the best one, but one that people don't talk about very much. This is Bad Luck by Trucks. Back with Moving On. I'll throw that one on for a minute too, so you can check it out. I might have talked about this one before, but I'm not sure if I ever have or not. Apparently Toad the Wet Sprocket is some Monty Python reference. I liked Monty Python just fine when I was a kid, but like, I didn't get that deep into it with like all the Flying Circus episodes and shit like that, so I probably just missed that one, but it's a little bit less random than it might seem that like people just sort of come up with that band name independently, you know? Pretty cool sound. Nice and crunchy. You can kind of hear where this style leads more to like glam than the other stuff that we've played so far. You know? Like, I wouldn't put this in, you know, with The Crew or, like, Poison, let alone Poison or any of that kind of shit, right? But I can see more sort of a through line from this into that direction than into, like, the thrash metal or something like that, you know? No talk about speed versus thrash metal tonight, by the way. I'm fucking tired of that topic for now. Language changes. That's the moral of the story. It's funny because I see this one like sort of tying, like looking forward to the glam just a little bit. But I also feel like this one looks back to the 70s more than some of the other ones, you know? With a little bit different production, and not even necessarily different production, just like with the instruments like processed a little bit differently. This could have come out in like 77 or 78 or something like that, you know what I mean? On I don't know, like on a Montrose record or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, not the greatest thing ever, but I don't think this record's bad at all. It's kind of a cool piece too, you know. If you only have the ones that are like talked about, like the really like heavy duty ones, you're not going to build a real collection that way either. You know, you got to have some bullshit in there and some things. And we're going for a 6th one just because we have time, and I probably won't do one of these again for a while. And it's Tails again. Tails are fucking killing it, man. Alright, what's this one? Fucking Venom. Bloodlust. You know, ever since someone pointed out to me that, like, the Venom logo was sort of inspired by the Yes logo on the, like, Roger Dean covers for Yes. Like, I haven't been able to see it quite the same way. It's like, I can't unsee it now, you know? Anyway, this is a great record. Yeah, Bloodlust back with In Nomine Satanas. I mean, it's fucking Venom, so... I don't know if you necessarily need me to fire this one up right now. I'll probably get an ad put on the thing if I do, because Venom's, like, still active and trying to make money. You know, Trucks, these guys, they're working day jobs, but... Oh, what the hell, man. I really want to hear it now that I'm looking at it. I'm just going to put it on. There's an ad on this thing, sorry. I mean, it's Venom, you know? I don't know. You know, it's funny about Venom because they're so legendary, right? Such like a huge deal in our circles, you know, heavy metal circles. But they really didn't make that many great records. They made a lot of records, but they didn't make a lot of really great records. Like, I really only think the first 2 LPs are really essential. I mean, I have a couple others, too. And then, like, the early singles, like this one and, this one. I have this one, too, the Die Hard single. It's great shit, you know? I love how he calls him Mantis here. Like the way the old bands would do it, they'd yell the guitar player's name before the solo. It's so good. If his name weren't Mantis, it wouldn't be so funny, but it fucking is, and so it fucking is. The other thing about this, too, is like... This is like the classic, like, Kronos vocal cadence, you know? Like with the triplet and then ending at the line, like a little rest at the end of the line. I'll wait until it comes again. Such a great riff, it really is. Big step up from Trucks, isn't it? You can see why they didn't fade into obscurity quite so quickly. Now listen to this. Like, after, like, black metal, it started to feel like he was doing that on every single song. And it get a little bit tedious, you know? He wasn't necessarily doing it on every single song, but it felt like a lot of the time Kronos was just doing, like, the Kronos cadence for the vocals. And I was sort of like, oh, come on, man, like, mix it up just a little bit, you know? I mean, I realize when you're singing like this, it limits your, like, melodic options, you know? Alright, well, anyway. I just shit on Venom's catalog and I shit on Kronos and I made a wisecrack about Mantis. But you know something? I love all this shit. And, like, if anyone from Venom is watching, salute, man. You made some of the greatest records ever fucking cut. And, that's about all I've got. I mean, we could keep talking about fucking 45s that I don't want to waste every day, so. Thanks as always for watching. Appreciate it. And I'll see you soon. Take care.